Okay, so I did recently watch both your Kill Tony appearances.
Yeah.
They were very interesting, and it almost, the first one didn't even seem like you.
Yeah.
Like-
Interesting.
Like,
What do you mean?
You seem. Well,
More
I feel like
energetic.
we could speak.
Some guy told me recently, he was like, "You've changed so much since those Kill Tonys. You used to be this like more happy, outgoing guy." Like he was talking out of his halfway, but sorry to cuss.
Yeah, you've been cussing a lot, by the way. So.
Really? Have I? Oh man.
A few times. It's not that bad.
Will you censor it? We promise you'll censor it.
I'll try. Yeah.
Okay.
I usually just try to mute it.
Yeah, I had a guy that was just kind of half lying. I'm just kidding, or just whatever. He didn't know what he was talking about all the way, but he was trying to just make a talking point to me, and he was just like, I used to notice you acted so differently. Now you're like pissed off and serious all the time. And I don't know if that's a bad word or not. But I was like, I still do the same stuff. Like I'm still the same. You obviously don't know me that well. I'm obviously like, I'm the best I've ever been. Like as time goes on, like I'm constantly improving. So.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like, yeah. So the first one, and you gave me the backstory on your first appearance and stuff. But I was like watching it and I was like, I wouldn't like to hang out with that Daniel. I honestly thought that. And then the second one, I was like, this is more the Daniel I like. Well, because you were interrupting.
I wasn't different.
Like
I wasn't any different.
Really?
As a person. I was just in a weird mood and misunderstood the situation.
Okay, because
thought it was something it wasn't. Straight up, thought I was walking in like a banana phone setting, and I thought I had act a fool.
Cussed
Oh,
again.
sorry.
You cussed again.
Wow.
And so I'm about to fight you. It was so funny whenever you like kind of made fun of Trevor Wallace, and he's like, "I just sold out." Like, oh.
That was unintentional. I did not mean to call him. I didn't mean that when I said the TikTok guy too. I was like.
It was so funny. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't feel like you.
Well, I mean, I guess you know me currently or whatever, but people like to see those and say, like, this is very concentrated, like, mistakes that you made that represent yourself. Like, there's unaware Daniel and the trouble he gets in on that first one. And then the second one, both times there's classic, shut up, Daniel, just stuff. And people like that, I guess. And people love to watch that. I get such mixed reviews on this stuff. It is crazy, but yeah, I wish everything happens for a reason, right? I don't know. Hopefully.
What are your thoughts?
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Is it really? Okay.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I flip flop too. I fluctuate. Once in a while, I'll let it get to me.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, but like I never let it like really get me that bad. And then in the moment I was cool.
Yeah.
After that first one and I get kicked off stage, I was like, wow. I say that I've been doing comedy longer than I have because I had started in 2019, had like a very flip-floppy, wasn't very consistent, and then like during the pandemic did not do comedy. So like age 20 basically I did not do comedy. And then 2021 when everything started back up, took it seriously. I was about 2 years at that point.
Wow.
And I just said 4, and like that was not, and then that makes them really, really not like you. Also, I look old AF, and sorry, I don't know if that's close enough to swearing. I look old, and so they probably thought I was a lot older than I was too. They thought I was some like 30-year-old guy going out there acting like a dumb, acting dumb. And let me see. I acted cool as a cucumber in both moments. After I got off stage the first time, I was like, if I was any newer in comedy, that would have messed me up pretty bad. And then I wasn't probably entirely, I don't know. I was worried about it. But then after the second one, oh man, I was cool. But there were times like after that where I was just like so worried about everything involving that.
Well, and it's like
perception, and
it's so funny too because it's like I've seen you do comedy so many times, and it's like you didn't get a ton of laughs whenever you were on Kill Tony, but I see you kill in open mics where like nobody was getting laughs, me included. I go up there, I get 0 laughs. You go up there, you get tons of laughs.
The minutes weren't really the problem, in my opinion,
Yeah.
on the Kill Tonys either. Were they the best minutes ever? No, but they weren't. I think it was just like the interviews both times were just like, well, then also like my second time, I was supposed to have like 5 jokes, and like my second or third didn't land, and then I forgot the last one.
Okay.
And then I addressed it right away, and it was about 45 seconds in, and then that just kind of started the wheel, and then yeah, and then Ric Flair, thank God he was there. Thank God he was there.
Yeah, honestly.
Thank God.
That I
Ric
was
Flair
watching that
there.
episode too, and I was just like, I would have hated to be on that episode with how many people, how many cooks were in the kitchen.
It's also like I admired every individual on that stage.
Oh, for sure.
Like individually at one point, like every individual on that stage. And it was like my childhood hero came and like, you know, and I knew I liked and admired Ric Flair. I'll be honest, I wasn't like, when I watched wrestling as a kid, he was an old school guy, but like we always knew all about him, saw plenty of footage of him. I knew very well who he was. Like couldn't believe it was him. And he just came to my defense in this fairy tale manner. It was insane. And I think I would have been in a worse boat if he hadn't have done it that way, you know. And enough time has passed to where it's, how much does that matter? And then how much that matters is kind of up to me and what I choose to do about it.
It
So
doesn't, like, okay, so I've met you, I know you, I've seen you do comedy now. That's all I can speak for. I see these past things, and for sure, was it the most successful appearance? I don't think so, but I see you now, and I like who you are, and you're one of my closest friends here.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it matters.
I was very misrepresented. I felt very misrepresented, but that's my fault. On that account, that is my fault. But it also just like lit the biggest fire I ever could have imagined, especially after the second time, like motivation wise. Like,
okay, hey, cool.
Oh no, like I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I got really cutthroat after that. Very, very just out here all the time, very prominent. And that guy was right. I maybe am more militant in my attitude about comedy now, but I just scrambled to get like the best 5 minutes I've ever had right after that. And then that just kept growing and growing. And yeah, just hoping I get another chance just to leave on a decent note. That's all I want.
Yeah. Well, okay, then in my opinion, that's a win.
Now I feel stuck.
Why do you feel stuck?
Like I don't have a choice almost. But I do. It's not entirely honest, but I do feel like I'm in this system. But then I really miss it when I'm not there and stuff too. Like that's also true. Like I do appreciate what's going on, and if Kill Tony wasn't there, the city wouldn't be what it is, and it does justice for certain people, and you know it's not always like that for everyone. It's, you know, I see all sides.
Well, and also I don't know.
I've also seen people do worse and got treated worse than me, and that really makes me. I probably didn't have as strong as of opinions about that until seeing other people get mistreated. No, it's not so much Kill Tony, like the Reddit and stuff like that is where the mistreatment really comes in.
Yeah. And
that's always been a thing. I watched an old Kill Tony today where he was like, "You're one of those Reddit cowards," like he was telling somebody. And it's like, okay, well that's not the show. The way the fans act online and misbehave, that's really not the show. But I do think, you know, I got on Tony's bad side, and he tried to punish me for it, essentially. And I would just hope I can reverse that or put a good taste in his mouth at the very least, at least for now. It's getting to be over a year since that last appearance.
Since the last one. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think anything can be turned around.
And hopefully I'm ready whenever it comes out, you know, if I do get picked again. And I'm really cool with just about everybody in the scene. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying I do wonder how much it really matters anymore.
Yeah, I do too. It's definitely not something to get caught up in because you can. Yeah. You know.
Oh, for sure. I've sensed it for myself. Yeah. And then it's like, I do wonder how much, I don't know what the future holds. I think, you know, for us to just pretend that Kill Tony's always going to be in Austin, Texas, it will always be right there. I think that's a little naive too. We don't know. It's such a big show.
We have no idea what the future
And so,
looks
in
like.
my opinion, seize on it while it's here, while it's local. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and hopefully I get on before then, before they
I really think so. I really think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I am pretty passionate about wanting to get on again, but I don't generally dwell on that though, I try to just be as strong as I can outside of that, build myself up. Also having like a content base and established Instagram and stuff. And my Instagram has doubled since my second appearance. I don't know how much effect that had directly because I didn't have an immediate like boost or anything. One thing is they tend to misspell my name. My last name is Shepherd, and they spell it biblically, and mine's slightly different.
Okay.
And then like I've had very little harassment online. Like maybe less than 10 interactions online. And some of those were like really fake accounts that might have been closer to me than I would like to admit. But
It was
like
me.
for a long time, I only had like one or two people. Like it was a guy who DM'd me accusing me of doing it on purpose. He's like, you just want to sabotage the show because he's like, you like being, you like the negative attention and all this stuff. And giving me a lot more credit than I deserved. And so I was like, it kind of came off as a compliment unintentionally more than the guy would have meant. And then I said, thank you for your feedback. I remember it was a pretty mean message. I censored myself there a little and never responded. A guy commented on my YouTube video of me in 2019 at Cap City and said 4 years later, this guy still sucks. And I deleted that comment. But then, like, nobody messed with the other stuff I had on there. I had some other stuff. But yeah. And then, since then, I've maybe had, like recently, for a long time, that was, like, it. And then, recently, some guy, like, I made a post of, like, the Chris Kuhn short film thing. Some guy just started, like, attacking the video. And then whenever I said something, then he started attacking me or somebody on there. I assume it's a guy. And then we couldn't delete it off Instagram. Instagram wouldn't let us.
Weird.
Yeah, and then like I reported it, and then it kept coming back as not harassment, even though it was like clearly like intentional harassment. And then, yeah, but I don't know, not much. Like honestly, the internet's been pretty chill about it. I didn't really go surfing on Reddit because I listened to Joe Rogan. I listened to Daddy Joe. And he always warns not to go looking for comments and things like that, and getting lost in that. And I'm glad I did because I skipped probably some pain that way. And as the first time I was just like not looking at the Reddit, not doing it. But then people were coming up to me and showing me things.
Oh, no.
Like 5 times people came up to me, like maybe more, came up to me and were showing me stuff. And then, like, one of them was a conspiracy. Like, there was kind of a bit of stuff, and now it's really hard for me to find. It might still be there, but I was told you have to search by the date. Okay. So I try to look my name up. I'm really not finding stuff. But, and then the second time, I knew less about what they were doing and saying about me on there. But I knew they didn't look. I had a bunch of TikToks. I was in the background of a lot of TikToks. I was viral on TikTok around the time that episode came out for like maybe 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then people were recognizing me from being in the background because it was mostly Ric Flair clips. And then one guy, and then the YouTube comments, I watched the live comments on my first one. They were decent. Like kind of being like understanding of the actual situation. And the second time I did not watch it live. Skimmed the comments, didn't really see much of myself in the comments. And then they finally, one of those accounts, I think it was Life of Logos, I could be wrong. I don't know if the video is still up there. They posted a video of me and said, this guy should call it quits. And put a clip of it out there, which is like that act in itself, I consider to be one of the 10 times I've been harassed online. It was like a guy, like, that stupid account post that. And then I look on the comments and everyone was like, why would you even make this video? Like, wow. People were like actually pretty nice about it. and then saying like all the right, all the stuff, even like thoughts I have in the back of my mind. People were people were saying I have a problem swearing. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kill you.
It just happens. I'm trying to work on myself, but just in general. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's super
Kill
interesting.
Tony.
Kill
I could go on.
Tony.
Another thing I could go on all day about, and I have.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you like to talk about.